Laundry soap. We all use it. We all like it. We all like to be in clean clothes. Is more better? Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Blake. I'm with BlvdHome, and I've been doing appliance repair for 31 years, working on all different manufacturers. Let's get into soap, because soap is one of those things that is almost a bane of my existence, because I love soap because we need soap, but I cannot tell you how many problems we've had with soap issues. Now you have to remember, with soap, the manufacturers of these soaps are in the business of selling that soap. Let that sink in for a minute. The manufacturers design the machine to clean the clothes. You've got to make sure it tumbles, make sure it rinses, make sure it drains, make sure that we have enough water to get over your clothes, to get all the dirt out of your clothes. But they don't make the soap. How is Mr. All going to be making profit? By selling you soap. What's the things that they can do so you buy more soap? The answer is, they want you to put more soap in your machine than you need to have put into your machine, because the more you use, the more you buy the soap. No pun intended, all the manufacturers, not just all, they all want you to sell you lots of soap, so they want you to use lots of soap. Does soap help clean? Well, yeah, it does. It depends on a lot of factors, and also it depends on the hardness of your water, the size of your load, the amount of water that's in the machine. So if you're talking a front load machine, it's a low water usage machine. This machine doesn't require a whole lot of soap. It's like taking soap and putting it in your sink, a lot of soap, and filling it with a little bit of water, and then sit there and agitating it with like an immersion blender or with your hand, and you're gonna have soap suds everywhere. Well, soap suds don't clean your clothes. They're a byproduct of the soap being agitated. Now, when it agitates, we want to have soap suds. We want to have the soap action, because, with any HE soap, we're trying to get the dirt out. We're trying to suspend it out in the water, but we don't want so many soap suds because the machines can't drain soap suds. It's like you taking a straw and trying to suck up these soap bubbles out of the bottom of a glass with the straw. It doesn't work. Machines are the same way. They can drain the water, but they can't drain the soap suds, and it becomes detrimental to your machine. You get odors and you get smells, and you get so much soap suds in front load machines that the soap suds get up around the rear bearing. That's where the shaft goes through that turns the drum, and it washes out the grease from that bearing. And when it washes it out, then rear bearings fail. You might as well replace the machine, because it is extremely expensive to do it, and it's not an easy process to do it. You need to use the proper amount of soap for the machine. So if you have soft water, you're going to cut your soap back in half. If you have hard water, you may use a little bit more, but don't use the guide as far as the machine. This is another common mistake, is they have on the front load machines, they have this nice little container you fill it up, and it says maximum fill point. That doesn't mean that's where you fill it up to. That's the maximum amount that that container can hold before it starts siphoning it out into the machine. You should put the proper amount of soap based on your usage for your machine. Now, it also depends on how much water is in the machine. So if you have a top load machine where you have a deep fill and you're not using the normal wash, because that is the eco wash, we've already talked about other videos, please check them out. If you're not using a normal wash and you're using like a bulky or a heavy duty and you have a deep fill on the machine, you're going to be using more soap, because you're going to have a dilution ratio. You're going to have a lot more water. You need to add more soap for that water dilution ratio, so it dilutes right and it washes properly. Now, my personal recommendation, and this is against all manufacturers' recommendations, this is my personal recommendation. When I tell people with front load machines, when you put your clothes in, you gently pat them down. It comes just to the bottom of the door, that's a small load. When you're to the medium, halfway, that's the medium size load. When you're 3/4 the way up there, that's a full size load. With that level, with hard water, you're going to use about 4 tablespoons of detergent. That's all you need, because you should only see soap in the machine for approximately 3 to 4 minutes of agitation, and it should be gone. If it's there past that point, either you're using too much soap or the wrong type of soap, or the soap has gone bad. Again, there's other videos on that. The HE soap can fail and become high sudsing, but anyhow, but that's as much as you need. If you have soft water, you're going to cut it down to about 3 tablespoons. That's for a large load, and you're going to start bringing it back from there. That's my personal recommendations. Now, the manufacturers of the soap are going to tell you otherwise, because they're in the business to sell soap, and I have nothing against them, because I need that soap to clean my clothes. So anyhow, we're going to get into the part where you have the pods. Is that too much soap? Well, those are pretty much dosed for about that. Take one of these caps and you fill them up all the way. They're not equal. Those are a little bit better for the machine, but with front load machines, unless you have a machine that has a pods dispenser, such as the Electrolux, that has a specific pod place for it that goes in the machine, when you close it and you tell it to select a pod so it breaks it down properly. If you throw those directly into your front load machine, you have the potential of that pod to get wrapped up inside of the clothing. You'll get blotches on your clothes and your other things. So you have to be mindful with front load machines using those. Now, top load machines, as long as it's not, again, on the normal mode and it's filling up with water, they're about the right amount of soap for a machine. Small loads, maybe a little bit too much. Large loads, about right, medium, borderline, but they work great also. Is too much soap good for the machine? No. Is too little good for your clothes? No. What's the right amount for my machine? It depends on your usage. Definitely pay attention to your machine. Watch your machines. Don't just throw your stuff in there and walk away and think that it's going to be fine, because it is going to be fine until I get called out a while later and it's not okay. For example, the customer's house last week that they wanted me just to check out their wash machine while I was repairing their dryer. So I reached over and turned the wash machine on and just filled it up and just had it agitating, no clothes in there, just wanted to listen to it and see what it was doing. Got doing my thing. 5 minutes later, I look over at the machine and I got soap suds halfway up the door and I didn't add any soap. How good is that for your machine and your clothes? It's not. It's just detrimental to it. All the excessive soap suds build up inside your clothes, and then so when you're outside on a nice warm day and you're out exercising and your clothes start to smell and you're like, ooh, yeah, that's called soap suds in your clothes, called soap residue in your clothes. That's what causes that smell. The best way for you to figure this out for yourself, just to start your machine. Just turn it on, no soap, let it run and see if the soap suds come out of it. Now, if the soap suds come out of it, get them out of the machine. You may have to run a wash machine cleaner into it. You may have to run a rinse and spin 2 or 3 times to get the soap out of it. So when it's agitating, you're not getting all that soap. Then after that, put your clothes in there that you're having a problem with them smelling. Pull them out of your closet, put them in the machine. You know the wash machine's clean, you know there's no soap in it. Turn it on, don't add soap. Let it agitate for 4 or 5 minutes and look at it. If you're seeing soap coming out of the clothes and it's in the water, then you have soap residue buildup in your clothes. Once all that soap is out of your clothes, you may have to just let it go, finish the cycle. You may have to wash it a couple times to get all the soap out of it. Once the soap's out of it, then use the proper amount of soap for the machine, and then at that point, see if your odors are gone. Most of the time they will be gone. If they're not, you may want to add a little bit more detergent for that article of clothing or that type of clothing. If you have workout clothes, you may want to add more soap for those things to help get rid of the odors. But 99% of the time, in my experience, it has to do with using too much soap is actually causing the odors and the residues build up inside your clothing. Now, there are cases you're not using enough soap. I get that too. But the only way we'll know for sure is to make sure that we are starting with a clean machine, clean clothes, no soap in it, and then go from there. That's the only way you'll ever be able to know for sure what is causing the odors coming out of your clothing. Quick recap of what using too much soap can do for you. It can cause excessive soap suds. Now, excessive soap suds can lead to you having mold growing into the machine itself, because that's the surface that the mold will grow on. It starts to smell inside your machine is strictly because of using too much soap suds. It can gunk up the pipes inside the machines. It starts building up with that same yuck and muck because it's sitting in water all the time and it's not being cleaned out. And it also can damage the machine as far as damaging the rear bearings, stuff like that, from over sudsing. HE soap, all the soaps are mostly HE now. HE soap is a couple things. It's low sudsing. It has a soil inhibitor in it that suspends the dirt out in the water and doesn't allow it to go back in the clothing. It does go bad. The chemical in it that makes it low sudsing has a shelf life of about 8 to 10 months and it becomes high sudsing again. So again, be mindful buying these big jugs and storing them because they can fail on you. So the best thing to do to clean your wash machine, about every 50 to 60 wash loads, run a cleaner through it. Don't just run water through it, actually get a cleaner. Lemmy Shine, great product. I'm gonna tag you Lemmy Shine, you're gonna love me because I probably sell lots of your product because it's a great product. You do have machines with auto dispensers. Auto dispensers are your best bet to be using with an HE soap because it's going to measure the amount of clothes in there. It's going to pull the right amount of soap into it so you're not over sudsing things, because that really helps. Now, one thing you do need to be conscious of when you are buying your soaps, the concentration of the soap, because sometimes you'll get soap with lots of different concentration factors from 2 to 6. Basically, they're more just straight soap. So if you're getting a concentrated soap, you need to cut way, way, way back on there. So when I'm saying tablespoons of detergent in there, that's for normal soap. You have to cut it back for the concentrated soaps. And if you have an auto dispenser, make sure you go into your settings and make sure you tell the dispenser that you have a concentrated soap in there and what concentration it is, because that will have a factor of how much soap you're going to use. So definitely pay attention to that as far as the concentration of the soap. I hope this video has been informative. I hope it's been informative about soap. If you have any questions or any comments, please put them below. Be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.